billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added.
Our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building,
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any? As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire them.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So.
Are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade, which nobody thought was even a possibility. And we get a zero tariff in the free trade. We don't pay tariffs, and they're going to pay 15% on everything they send into our country. So it's great. But they put up, as you could call it, seed money. Let's call it seed money. You could call it anything you want, but it's a total of $550 billion. So nobody thought any of that was possible, and it's wonderful. And we're doing pretty well with the European Union, likewise. And we have some others. They're all really big, and our country's going to make a lot of money. We would be helped if interest rates would come down, but we're going to see how the board rules on that soon. I'd love to see them come down a lot. But we have a country that's thriving. We had a dead country 1 year ago. Today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And we'll get this one finished.
Mr. President, you
Thank you.
The US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says embattled Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell should finish his term if he wants. Let's bring in our business reporter, Edward Boyd. Ed, the Trump administration has aggressively targeted Powell and called for him to cut interest rates. He's going to do whatever he wants. And also, Trump doesn't have the power to sack him, does he?
Trump, so I think he looked into whether he could sack him, and it seems very difficult to be able to do that. So right now, they're just going to let Powell do his own thing. He's obviously the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the most important central bank in the world until May next year. And he's obviously there's been a lot of pot shots at Powell in the media for not reducing interest rates. President Trump wants rates cut by 3 whole percentage points, which would reduce America's interest loan borrowing numbers quite significantly. This has obviously been a story that's happened since Trump began his presidential campaign last year. He's been taking constant pot shots at Powell. Now, the US Federal Reserve have cut rates by 1%. Last year, they did that. And since then, they've had rates on hold at about 4.5%, so substantially higher than where interest rates are in Australia. There's several candidates that are front runners to take over as chairman of the Federal Reserve next year. One of them that's a bit of an outsider is the US Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. Obviously, he's in a very important role at the moment, and Trump has said on the record he's doing a good job. So it's unlikely Bessent is going to move into that position as chairman of the Federal Reserve. But this morning, Bessent was on Fox Business, basically saying Powell should resign if he wants to, or he could stay in the job until his chairmanship ends if he wants to as well. The other problem for the Trump administration is Powell's term as chair ends in May, but he can actually stay on the board of the US Federal Reserve for 2 more years, so he can still have a hand in voting on interest rates decision, and will still have a lot of sway and gravitas on that board, you'd imagine. So it's an interesting position to be in. We'll obviously see Powell's term end, though, in May, and it looks like that's going to happen.
The point there from Bessent is it wasn't an endorsement.
No, it wasn't an endorsement at all. And all the candidates now are starting to do media appearances. Well, Bessent speaks to the media all the time anyway in his current job, but they're all trying to jostle for position in the media and get in front of the camera so Trump sees that they're out there talking.
Okay, always back self-interest. That's a sure winner, absolutely. Let's talk about the ASX. It has just opened half an hour ago. Some of the big stock winners this week has been the miners.
Iron ore mining sector's actually done really well this week. It's all because China have announced a giant hydroelectric dam project in Tibet. It's 5 dams which are going to dam the Sangpo River and create more electricity, apparently, than Australia generates in total from this one giant dam. And obviously, dams require a lot of iron ore, a lot of steel within them. So it's really improved the outlook for the iron ore mining sector. Let's have a look at a couple of share charts, though. We've got the ASX, we should have the ASX 200 there. It's up about 0.4% in early trade, back above 8,700 points. We go to the next page. We also have BHP over the past week, obviously the biggest iron ore mining company in Australia, up 8.5%. And then we was talking to Stash Butler earlier. Here is the Japanese stock market off the back of that trade deal that the US have reached with Japan. It's already up 1.8% in just half an hour of trading. We don't have prices to show you for Toyota and for some of the big Japanese car makers, but they're all up between 10 and 15%, surging off the back of this deal, because the big fear was the tariff would be 25% and would really hurt their sales in the United States.
What's it end up? 15?
15, so much lower than what...
And he was talking about 45, remember?
He was talking some crazy numbers, and the final number's 15. It seems like the Japanese market is pretty happy with that level.
Yep, out of the deal. Love it.